Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the 11th race on calendar here for Division 1. It is taking place at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, here in Spain. 16 corners make up this 4.6-kilometer circuit, 9 of them to the right, 7 to the left. 2 DRS zones here. The biggest opportunity for overtaking being the DRS on the pit straight, which is one of the longest straights in Formula 1. Hotspot on the call with you this time out. The final race in Midwest with the Barcelona layout, with the chicane that is universally unliked. As it turns out, Division 1 having one heck of a season. If this isn't the penultimate round, is this the tri-ultimate round? I'm not quite sure. Maybe I've just invented that word. We've only got 2 rounds to go after tonight. We've got Singapore next week, Canada the week after that. But first, we are here in Spain for what should be a brilliant night of racing here for the Division 1 grid. Don't think we have any weather on tap for us that will potentially get in the way. Qualifying is going to be overcast to clear. The race is going to be clear to light cloud, back to overcast again. So it looks as if we are all set to go on that front. Who is going to be the first out of the garage tonight? I'm going to put my money on the Alpine of Aero Race. Actually, no, I'm going to go Scavany. He's always the first one out, I think. Typically, is usually one of the first people out. That part I know. Because he's one of those drivers that, takes his time and lays down a couple of practice laps before anything happens there. Dusty Lusky is going to be making his way out. The correct answer is that of Nicky64. That was actually not a terrible guess there. I would have, I could definitely see that one coming for sure. Nicky64 in his AlphaTauri. Well, I tell you what, he's got quite a lot of work to do today. He is currently, as we do take a look at our drivers and constructor standings, he is currently one of the bottom 3 in Division 1 so far, facing relegation. Those 3 being Houdini, Nicky64, and Shelly the Turtle. Nicky64 has a little bit of work to do in 19th. Houdini sits pretty okay, 481. Mind you, NLR No Jug, the winner of 2 of the last 3 rounds, was dangling on the edge of the relegation battle, and now has, at the moment, cleared himself by just over 20 points up there in P17. Shelly the Turtle does have a lot of work to do, and he does not appear to be on the grid tonight. Currently leading our championship is that of race day 2016, 985 points. I believe he's won all but 3 rounds this season. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All but 4 rounds have been won by the McLaren of race day 2016. Looks like the first one we're going to have on a time lap here is going to be the Haas of Dusty Lusky. Driver who currently finds himself P9 in the standings, the better of the 2 Haas teammates. He'll be first up today as he makes his way down the pit straight in towards turn 1. Very long trek down in towards the first corner here. It'll be 4 downshifts down into 4th for the right-hander. As you can see, no, maybe only 3 for him. I think he's taking a little bit more cautiously into the corner. This is the very tricky one here. Riding that accelerator all around. You'll typically maybe see some drivers upshift a little bit early to maybe try to take it flat through that corner, through the famous Hamilton-Rosberg corner, then down in towards turn 5 now. I really do enjoy this Barcelona circuit here. There's really not that many bad places on track to make an overtake happen. I mean, obviously there's the chicane, which you're just not going to overtake in ever, but other than that, it's one of those tracks you really just have utmost freedom as to what you do with it. He's going down the 2nd DRS straight now. Not really the one that's going to be known for making the overtakes, but you might see it happen. You just might. It's Purple Sector 1 and 2 so far for Dusty, as you would expect, as he makes his way now through Sector 3. So if you were to go straight there, as you can see, that runoff is where, well, we're not using that chicane anymore in this next game, and we're on the eve of the first practice session for Barcelona tomorrow morning. Dusty Lusky's gone 1:18, 1:45. Currently puts himself fastest. Next up, Nicky64, 1:22.687, although I believe he did have a yellow flag somewhere on his lap. So he is just a little bit off, I believe. Next up, we're going to have the Williams of Shariah Coleslaw puts himself within 3/100ths of a second. And then, who else but race day? 1:16.931. The driver, who now finds himself on provisional pole, Aero Racing Design, then has put himself in a good lap within half a second but resides second. His teammate in the Alpine of GSR Hoxton has joined him on now the second row within 1 second. As NLR No Jug, look at him go, 1:16.812, puts himself on provisional pole by over a tenth. Back to race day 2016. I tell you what, I'm not quite sure where this guy came from. He's won 2 of the last 3 rounds, and I tell you what, he's definitely, if he does hang around, which I sincerely hope he does, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the new game next season. I'm definitely looking forward to it, which, by the way, all the early indications looking at the new game is going to be quite good. The track, I was watching, I forget who it was that was streaming, or made the YouTube video, or whatever it was, regarding the new game, and it looks like traction has severely been improved. It's one of those things in this game where you just really couldn't get your head around was the traction. But as we see Dusty Lusky coming to the line, I believe he's going to be starting another one now. Next up, I believe we're going to have, well, it won't be Aero Racing Design. He has spun it round on his way out of the chicane. I believe he was going to start another time lap. He's on low fuel, so I'm not quite sure what he was going to do there, but in the pits he goes. Next up, Race Day is on his way in. I believe next we're going to have one of the 2 Mercedes drivers. It is that of GSR Edwin, a very recent race winner here in Division 1. Mind you, he did take 3 rounds ago in Brazil, was that of GSR Edwin. And then the 2 following rounds after that won by NLR No Jug. So, and GSR Edwin also taking the opening round in Saudi Arabia. In the driver standings, he currently finds himself P8 behind his teammate of Impossible Bacon, 7:48 to 7:41, with Gott Palmer there in the middle at 7:46. Should we check the constructor standings? McLaren definitely look like they've got a good handle on this one. 17:31 to Alpine's 15:57. Mercedes in third, 14:89. Ferrari not that far behind, 14:81. Williams in fifth, 13:29. Haas, 12:60. Red Bull, 12:13. AlphaTauri, 10:90. Aston Martin, 888. And then Alfa Romeo, 7:88. And if you do look closely enough, you will notice several of our drivers this week are sporting purple helmets this week, I believe. Yeah, that is definitely purple there on the lid of Scornsey. It was very unfortunate news that we learned quite recently as well, that our good friend of Army Forever has suffered what sounds like a very not good stroke. I know all strokes are not good. I think this one was, it seems like on the more severe side of it, but I hear he is doing well, and I hear he is in his way back in therapy and whatnot. But purple lids for the stroke awareness, which is very good to see, as I believe we're going to get ourselves a shot. I believe Scavney had one as well. Yeah, he's got the purple mixed in there as well. You know, Army Forever, one of those guys that's it was no matter how good or bad he was doing in that race, he always had a good attitude about it, and he always was very excited to get back in the car next time out. I speak from experience racing with him in F2 and being with him in that. Really good guy to drive around, and we do sincerely hope he makes a very speedy and full recovery, because I tell you what, it's not going to be the same without him around here. Scavney on his outlap in the Red Bull. I do find it, you know, tough to talk about. It really is, because you know, it's very difficult. I believe we are going to have the Aston Martin of Kelly Robb coming around this time by, well, he puts himself P12, 1:18.527. That's his only attempt so far. Finds himself middle of the pack at best. I believe now we're going to have that of Scavney making his way down the pit straight into the first corner. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him in both the Aston Martin and one of the AlphaTauris as well, as he finds his way through the first corner. 9.5 minutes remaining in the session. Let's see what Scavney has to offer here. Currently finds himself just under 2 seconds away off of pole position. And speaking of pole position, current provisional pole holder of NLR No Jug finds his way on the track now. I believe he's actually following through the queue in behind. It's purple sector 1 so far for the Red Bull driver as he makes his way through turn 6 and back up the hill through 7 and 8. heavy over the entry curve. You don't want to touch that one on exit. That will send you for a spin if you get if you straddle it on the floor of the car. Takes turn 9, maybe a little slow there, tough to tell. Look at this. Almost 8.5 tenths of a second faster through Sector 2. It's purple Sector 2 for him as well. Rounding now, turn 12, and then into the right-hander of turn 13, and then eventually to the chicane that will no longer exist in just a few hours' time of 14 and 15, and then out of turn 16 now. This has always been a difficult corner to get correctly, and let's see if Scavney has anything to say here. Well, he's put himself inside the top 10, 1:17.592, just about 1.2 seconds faster than his previous best. That's a very comfortable time, I think. It's not... I tell you what, top 10 within a second of each other, that's always a good sign. I believe we have all but 3 out on track at this moment in time. Lots of traffic to navigate here as we have 8 minutes to go left in the session. Let's go along with that of NLR No Jug, currently on provisional pole, making his way through turn 3 and then through turn 4. Only 8/100ths of a second better through Sector 1, although it is purple. Nicely done on exit, makes his way down the hill through 5. Short shifts early, gets back up the gears now as he makes his way through 6, 7, and 8. Let's see how he takes this one. Yeah, that looked pretty clean to me. You're not going to get much better through that, has to be said. Holds the throttle nicely through turn 9. Very tricky off-camber, uphill right-hand corner. He's done it well in towards now turn 10. Only 5/100ths faster through Sector 2. It looks like at this moment in time, early indication will say that he will improve. But I fear this time may still be vulnerable for the Alfa Romeo drivers. He makes his way through the chicane now. Both McLarens on timed laps as well. NLR No Jug coming around the line now. Let's see what he's got. He does improve, 1:16.621, just under 2/10 of a second better than his previous attempt. That's a very good lap from him. And we'll have to see what Race Day 2016 has to offer here as he makes his way up through the hill. Turns 7 and 8. Round turn 9, maybe a little squirrely there, has to be said. I think he could have taken it a little better. We'll have to see. Comes to the line. 0.125 quicker at this moment. Looks to be a good lap. It's purple Sector 2 as well. I think he'll still need a bit of work here through Sector 3 if he wants to get on provisional pole. We'll have to wait and see how this turns out. He might get a nice tow ahead from the AlphaTauri. Let's wait and see. Takes the corner nicely through turn 16, a little bit of slip, follows the car down to the inside, across the line. It is almost 2.5 tenths faster than his previous best. However, he still finds himself 8/100ths of a second off of provisional pole. 6 minutes to go. He'll have to get quickly back around if he wants to make himself another lap attempt here. Looks like his teammate of Palmer had invalidated his previous attempt. He is not going to finish that one. I believe Scornsey has just finished a timed attempt. He moves to within nearly 3.5 tenths, currently second row. Edwin has just gone through a lap as well. Now we can see the masses of drivers on their way into the pits, but we'll have to wait and see. Matt Rosie on a lap. He has invalidated somewhere. I'm assuming perhaps going through turn 3 on exit of the corner. Very easy to get that one wrong and get the car pushed out wide. And I think that's perhaps what he's done. Scornsey coming around now. We do have the McLaren of Race Day, which I believe is going to be coming into the pits this time by. He's got about half battery left. I'm not sure how he's on fuel, so we'll have to believe that he's going to be coming in right about now. Yes, he will. Behind him, the AlphaTauri tandem of Nicky64 and VTEC currently occupy the bottom 2 spots on the grid. VTEC, I believe this will be his starting lap, his next timed lap attempt is GSR Edwin. Oh, and he's dumped it going through turn 16. He's lost the car. Oh, that's not a very good place to lose the car. Thankfully, there's not many cars on track. I'm assuming it's going to get cleared by the time the Haas gets through. Yes, it is. Aye, not ideal for him. Oh, by the way, if we look at the... I know I was bringing up the driver's standings earlier when talking about the relegation battle. Don't look now. VTEC might be in some trouble. Only at 512 points. NLR No Jug, well, he's in 16th, No Jug in 17th, 18th Houdini, 19th Nikki 64, 20th is Shelly. So it looks like right now we're going to have a good battle between that of VTech, No Jug, and Houdini to see who escapes the relegation zone. Remember, just like football, the bottom 3 drivers do get relegated to the division below. VTech, remember, last season's Division 2 champion. Let's see what he's got now as he rounds his way out of the final corner. To the line goes VTech. It is 118.362. He's over a second better than his previous attempt, but he is still P15 for the AlphaTauri driver. Not where he wants to be at all, I believe. Next up, we do have, this is Houdini, Speak of the Devil, making his way now through Sector 3. We'll have to wait and see what transpires here with just over 3 minutes left in the session. Let's see what Houdini has as he makes his way down into the chicane now. Is he on a timed lap? I would say he is, considering the amount of battery, and he's not on low fuel either. So let's see what Houdini has as he makes his way out of turn 16. To the line goes the Haas, 118.415, over half a second better. Does find himself within 5/100ths of VTech, but does reside in P16 at the moment. Not safe at all there for Houdini. He'll have to, well, I think he's probably out of time at this point, but yeah, it's looking like he's going to have a lot of work to do come the race. Next up, we do have an Alpine on track. It's that of Aero Racing Design. Let's see what he has in store for us as he makes his way now through, down in towards turn 1. Meanwhile, No Jug and Race Day both on outlaps here. I believe Race Day is going to be coming through the final corner now. It's either that or his teammate. Alfa Romeo's, that of No Jug, I believe, is actually behind Aero Racing Design at this moment. To the line went, that was Got Palmer. Race Day is making his way through Sector 3 now. Let's tag along with Aero Racing Design. Oh, and as I said that, he has invalidated somewhere. So with just over a minute and 45 seconds left, all eyes going to be on Race Day here. And oh, by the way, No Jug not far behind either. Let's see what happens here. Race Day 2016 making his way out of the final corner. Here comes his final timed attempt of the day. Minute and a half to go. Let's see what the McLaren has to offer here as he makes his way down in towards the first corner. Straddles the curb nicely, using all of the width he can on the way in. Takes turn 2 quite nicely. How close does he find the apex? Oh, he's had a wiggle! Aye, that one's not going to do well for him at all. That one is a significant amount of time already, 0.3 of a second down. Oh, he's going to be wishing he had that one back. You can tell he wanted to push the pace and had the snap of oversteer, and he had to collect. I think he should safely be on the first row, unless his teammates got anything to say, which he may. Coming out of the final corner now is his teammate of Got Palmer. Rounding the final corner, to the line goes the McLaren. What does he have? 116.774, 0.2 better. Does not better his teammate. And oh, by the way, I think Race Day might have enough time to start another attempt here. But No Jug making his way now through Sector 2 with 30 seconds remaining here. Race Day now going through the chicane. So Race Day will have another opportunity. And oh, by the way, he's going to have the better of it here, because this will be No Jug's final attempt. Out of turn 9 goes the Alfa Romeo, heading down the back straight. By the way, I believe Scornsy's on a timed lap as well. He is actually not that far behind No Jug. No Jug's just gone purple Sector 2, over a 10th better, nearly a 10th and a half. VTech has gone and retired in the pits. We'll have to wait and see. Race Day 2016 through the first sector now. What does he have? It looks pretty good. What does the time say? That's going to be the big question. Didn't really say anything there, to be completely honest. No Jug out of the final corner. What does he have? It's a 116.21. He's slower by 3/100ths of a second. The door might be left open here for Race Day to take provisional pole. Scornsy, all he can manage is P4. I don't believe he's actually improved. No, he hasn't. He was a 10th slower. Race Day now making his way up through turn 9. He's got the Red Bull ahead of him, who's on recharge. Nice little toe down the back straight here. Race Day as he makes his way in towards turn 10. Hoxid's managed 5th, Matt Rosie in 6th, although I believe he's going through Sector 2 now. Yes, he is. Race Day, oh, that may have been a wiggle coming out of 12th. We'll have to wait and see as he now makes his way down the hill through the chicane. This is his final attempt It's all or nothing here, rounding turn 16. What does Race Day have to offer the current championship leader? And he gets pole! 1:16.492. Puts just under a tenth and a half back to No Jug. What a lap then from Race Day at the death when he needed it. And that will put the McLaren on pole. And oh, by the way, he's going to have himself one hell of a battle off the line with No Jug right there next to him. Goodness me, what a session that was. And oh, by the way, the race still to come. 25 seconds until our formation lap here. Once again, in case you're tired of hearing it, Midwest F1 brought to you by Raze Energy and Epos Audio. So, this is going to be a big one off the line here. We've got the championship leader versus the guy who's won 2 out of the last 3 rounds. This one might just be quite entertaining off the line here. It's going to be interesting to see. Once again, no threat of rain tonight, so it's going to be all-out, flat-out racing here in Barcelona as the formation lap begins. Let's go ahead and see who's on what tire to start here. I would assume we're going to see most people on the mediums and hards. I would say more people have actually chosen the hards for this round. That's a little bold. Oh, what in the hell? I'm so sorry. We've just had an incident off the formation lap start there. The Red Bull of Say suddenly careened sideways. That's a stop, by the way. 15 to 20 laps there for the mediums to hards. If you're on the hard tires, well, I forgot what that is. I didn't quite see it. Oh, and now Impossible Bacon is spun. What in the hell is happening here? Well, I'm not quite sure, but something tells me that's gone interesting. Anyways, so what do we have here? We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers on the medium tires, the rest being on the hards. This is a very interesting mix of tire strategy here. I would assume everybody on the mediums is holding out for that early safety car. Everybody on the hards is on for the long run and trying to really turn this into perhaps, you know, to win their battles on track, which, you know, you have to say, you always like seeing that happen, that part's for sure. Race Day 2016 has, I believe, a 100-point lead coming into tonight. The championship leader, and oh, by the way, he has dominated so far this season. 102 points for Race Day 2016 over second place of Scornsy. Scornsy's got a lot of work to do here if he wants to get back into the conversation for the championship. Starting on the second row here, he's going to have the better line in towards turn 1. Who goes ahead and does the dive, and who chills and decides to play it kind of easy. Scornsy has angled his car across the circuit, pointing at the 2 McLarens ahead. The McLaren starting one next to the other. Race Day 2016 has angled his car, as you can see, pointing over at the line of No Jug. No Jug's kind of done the same. Also has pointed his car kind of towards the right-hand side. Race Day is going to want that inside line into the first corner. We'll have to see what happens here as the rest of the grid forms up. Just waiting on Nicky 64 now. Hoxton and VTEC did not get to complete their formation lap. Here we go. 3 rounds left in the, what season are we in? 10 or 9? Either one of them. 3 rounds left to go in the season. It begins now. Lights coming on here, 4 and 5, and they are off here in Spain. Who got the better start? It looks like it was Race Day. He's already gone and tried to cover the inside line. Is he going to be side by side with No Jug on the way into the first corner? No Jug still has the inside. It's going to be right close as they get into it. No Jug tucks himself down there in the bottom of the line, and we'll have to wait and see who gets better jump out of the corner. It was Race Day. He's taken the Alfa Romeo off the line. Scornsy is now side by side with Gott Palmer as they make their way in towards turns 4 now. Scornsy may have a better go through this one as he's on the inside. It looks like he's going to get around him here, only temporarily, as still Gott Palmer hangs on. As it looks, I believe as well, Matt Rosie's shuffled about. Say and Lancey trading positions there as well. Scornsy now files in behind Gott Palmer as they make their way through Sector 2. That was a very close battle indeed, as we now have Say and Lancey, who momentarily were side by side, and now find themselves very close to each other indeed. Aero Racing Design nearly wanted to have a look down to the inside. Edwin's going to try one around the outside through turn 10. and he's not able to get the traction to make the move happen. Although you can definitely see that move definitely looked to be on there for a minute. It looks like the timing might be slightly messed up here, but as they go through the chicane, they file one by one. As it looks now, Race Day 2016 has the lead, but how long will he have it? He does have the fastest lap, no DRS in play yet, although if you're No Jug, you're using that energy store, and you might have this move down into the corner. He's going to look for it down to the inside. Does No Jug have the position? It's very close, and I think really he stuck his elbows out there, and he's prevented Race Day from being able to strike back on the inside of turn 2. Call it what you want, but the move has worked, and No Jug takes the lead of the Grand Prix for the first time today. We do have a yellow flag in the back. It's that of Nicky64. Finds himself facing the wrong direction as he makes his way through turn 3. Unfortunate for him, but that one's going to be sorted out shortly, I would hope. We look now, Edwin might have something on Matt Rossi here. Matt Rossi seems to have kind of fallen back a little bit, at least to Hawks it ahead, not necessarily pressuring the Alpine. We'll have to wait and see, but here's the Mercedes. Does he have a look to the inside into turn 10? He certainly wants to. Matt Rossi on the hard tires, remember? He's going to be at the disadvantage on grip, and Edwin able to make that move happen. And oh, by the way, not the easiest of places to make it happen as well. Very nicely done there for the Mercedes drivers. He moves himself into 6th position. Not a lot of moving about on the grid so far this Grand Prix, but with DRS coming in play this time by, we'll have to wait and see. This time by meaning out of turn 9, we'll have to wait and see if Race Day can hold on to No Jug here to make that happen. Naturally, it's been a very good battle so far, as Aero Racing Design getting around Matt Rossi on their way into turn 1. That one looked a good one, sadly missed it, as Say was nearly looking for Impossible Bacon there, but he's not made it happen this time. And as the grid circles their way through turn 4, it is No Jug who has the lead by just over 3.5 tenths, and now almost 5 tenths, and then back down to 4 over that of Race Day. This is where I'm interested to see here. Oh, I believe Matt Rossi's had an off. Yes, he has. He's off against the barriers on the inside. That's exiting turn 5. And I'm hoping he doesn't have wing damage, because that wasn't exactly... Well, it didn't look a big shunt. No, it looks like his wing is fine. But for the driver who was in 6th position, 7th position not long ago, I'm sure he's going to want to have that one back. Certainly not what he was looking for there. But thankfully for him, still a lot of race left to go. And if there's anyone who can bounce back from an off, it is that of Matt Rossi. So now this is where the DRS might come into play. No Jug to... Oh! And speaking of No Jug, he's lost it out of the final corner! Well, that one, it has to be said, was slightly... Well, I didn't see that one coming, did you? No Jug has hit oversteer coming out of turn 16. That was very similar to where Edwin had gone off in the qualifying session out of the final corner, and that has suddenly made Race Day 2016's day a hell of a lot easier. Hate to see it for No Jug there. He was seriously pressuring Race Day for the position, and I tell you what, I think he may have been on for a 3rd win there, but now he's got a mountain to climb. Looks like VTEC might have a look at Gunner here shortly, within 0.3 of a second. As they make their way through turn 5, we'll check back in with them in a little bit. At this moment in time, closest battle on track is kind of that of, well, actually, I believe now that I say it, it's going to be down to that of Scornsy, trying to make the move and trying to find some time to get to the rear of the McLaren ahead of Gott Palmer for the 2nd spot. Edwin up 3, Aero Racing Design up 4, Cali Rob up 5. Those are the biggest movers in the positive direction, and as we've seen not long ago, No Jug and Matt Rossi down 15 and 12 respectively. Impossible Bacon might be having a look at Aero Racing Design here as they come out of the final corner. We'll have to wait and see, as it looks like Osei is on his way into the pits. That one is a little bit odd there. Why is Say in so early? Are we sensing a wing change here? As Impossible Bacon making his way around Aero Racing Design, very nice. But that is very odd. Yeah, I believe, did we have... Well, that was very odd. I'm not quite sure why he's made that stop, but make it he has. So now we check back in with Aero Racing Design, who battling with Impossible Bacon here within 0.3 of a second. Atop the grid, it looks like Race Day is staying very stagnant with his teammate of Scott Palmer. That gap not really closing or improving any, at least in race day's favor. Scornsy doing his best to tag along with it as well at the moment. As it looks like we might be having a good one here. Yes, we do. VTech and Gunner, those two who were battling not long ago, side by side now, going through turns 7 and 8. VTech's done it around the outside there, and that one was clever. Very nicely done there for the AlphaTauri driver. Jeez, what a spot to make an overtake. Who would have thought that? I know I said not long ago there's not really a bad spot to make an overtake on this circuit. 7 and 8, I wouldn't do it. Through turn 9, 10 would be risking it, really. 14 and 15, I wouldn't. I mean, it is a really good track, though. You can play with a lot of your surroundings, and definitely there are advantages to be had and then lost for overtaking here. And here's Aero Racing Design down to the inside on Impossible Bacon. In towards the first corner. Does ARD have it? Yes, he does. Very nicely done for Aero, but Impossible Bacon still hot on his heels here as they make their way through turn 3. Not necessarily close enough to make a move through turn 4, although one mistake from Aero Racing Design, and it'll see Bacon back into the 6th spot. Behind them, Cali Rob perhaps will be having a move here at Lancey with DRS. He's also got Dusty Lusky in behind. Atop the grid, 1.6 seconds, the gap from first to third. Each of the top 3 having 0.8 of a second between each other. For the lack of DRS not necessarily coming to the disadvantage of race day, he's just got pure pace in that McLaren at the moment. In fact, both the McLarens do. Top 2 at the moment are the McLarens. As we're about to enter the 7th lap of the Grand Prix out of 33. Does anything happen here? Let's check Scornsy's using very much his battery here, as well as Scott Palmer have used it quite a bit as well. Race day hasn't needed to. He still remains at 63%, so you can tell he isn't really struggling, although his teammate, that time with using both battery and DRS, has gotten closer to his teammate. He's shaved off about 0.3 of a second. Meanwhile, Impossible Bacon and Aero Racing Design back at it again. That gap was within 0.2 of a second not long ago. Bacon hasn't found the room to make the overtake. It's gotten right close, hasn't it? Meanwhile, Cali Rob trying to hunt down Lancey here. Now, Lancey's lost a bit of time back to Bacon. 1.8 seconds the gap. Perhaps it was a mistake for the Williams driver. Either that or the just, you know, once you lose DRS, you do really start to fall back of the driver ahead. And I think that may have been what's happened. But here's Bacon through turn 9. As they head down the back straight here, he's not going to have enough time to make a move in towards turn 10. But I tell you what, a good enough go through the chicane, and he'll be a give or take a mistake from Aero Racing Design, and he'll be right on top of him down the pit straight. As we look ahead, Scornsy starting to kind of close the gap to Scott Palmer. Not enough to threaten an overtake, I don't think. But perhaps as we look behind as well, Cali Rob starting to really put the pressure on Lancey. I think that one might get done with DRS. Down the pit straight they go. Does Bacon have anything here? And no, I don't think he's gotten the. I don't really think he's gotten that good of an exit out of the chicane, and he's going to back out of the slipstream just as quickly as he got in it. But Cali Rob around the outside now of Lancey, going through turn 1 side by side between these two. I think perhaps some contact being made, but Cali Rob has for now made his way around the Williams. That was a very nice move indeed there for the Aston Martin driver. Promotes himself up into the 8th spot, and oh, by the way, he's +7 so far today. It's been a brilliant outing so far for the Aston Martin. Lancey's still in pursuit. I don't think Lancey's given up on that spot quite yet. You might see this battle keep going. Has to be said, I think Cali Rob got a better exit there out of turn 5 rather. Up the hill now through turn 9. This is where mistakes can typically be made here. We'll have to wait and see. Out of the corner, Lancey's going to be looking for the outside line. Cali Rob's going to use his move to block that line. And oh, by the way, I think No Jug has just made his way around Houdini there, puts himself up into 13th. It's been a pretty okay rebound so far for No Jug, despite the tribulations he's had at the beginning of the race. 0.4 of a second separate that of Bacon and Aero Racing Design. I tell you what, Bacon might have the move this time by as he makes his way down the pit straight. He'll have the look down to the inside. I think he's going to get him even before the braking zone. Very nicely done there from Bacon. He's really had the job of setting that one up. Oh, and I believe Say's had another off then. This time going out of turn 12. Remember, he had pit not that long ago, and I didn't really see why he had pit, but now finds himself tailing the grid here after that spin. Houdini ahead, 0.2 of a second from VTEC here. VTEC very low on battery. As we said, Houdini might be making a move here very shortly. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, that water's warm. Up the hill now through 6, 7, and 8. It looks the top 4 still unchanged. Although it looks as if Scornsy has really fallen off the back of Gott Palmer here. He's outside of a 2.5 seconds now. Not very ideal, and Edwin has caught up to that one. We look ahead once more. Does Aero Racing Design get a better exit than Bacon exiting the final corner? We'll wait and see here. Down the pit straight they go. Oh, but by the way, Edwin was tucked behind there for Scornsy for a minute. And he nearly had one. And Aero Racing Design down to the inside, and he'll poke his head in front of the English Mercedes driver. Makes his way around in through turn 1. Very nicely done for Aero Racing Design in the Alpine. Oh, by the way, Edwin's still within 0.4 of Scornsy ahead. About a third of the way through the Grand Prix here this next time by, I believe. Still yet to see our round of pit stops. That's going to be coming in about 5 laps time, I would estimate, especially, well, I say that. If you're on the mediums, that'll be true. If you're on the hards, I'm not so sure. You may go up to 20 or thereabouts. That's what I would think. Here's Edwin. He's going to look down the inside through turn 10. Was there contact made there? Because Scornsy's had to go wide. Doesn't look like there was. Scornsy still on the inside. Does he have the spot? Yes, he does. Good battle there. Very nice and cleanly contested as well. Oh, but by the way, I believe No Jug has gotten around Shariah Coleslaw on their way in towards turn 10. Very nicely done there from No Jug. Gets another one back. Possible Bacon now. Oh, that was a wiggle exiting the chicane there. That may not help him. Here comes Edwin. Does he have anything for Scornsy here and towards turn 1? Side by side still, I think maybe some contact there. Bacon looks to have gotten around, Bacon has gotten around Aero Racing Design. Yes, he has. And Edwin, for the time being, still finds himself behind Scornsy, albeit great battling for the final step on the podium between those two. And I tell you what, this battle here between Bacon and Aero Racing Design never ending at this moment. And I'm not complaining. Good battle to see. Edwin still trailing Scornsy here. Scornsy has now lost 2.5 seconds back to that of Gott Palmer. And oh, by the way, Gott Palmer has fallen off back to his teammate as well. He's lost an additional second. And race day now safe of the threat of DRS from his teammates. Once again, just take a look at the tire strategies. Everybody in the top 4 on the mediums. Hoxid, the only driver in the top 7 on the hards. Everybody else, barring No Jug and Gunner, on the hard compound tires. So I think playing the long game here might be helpful, because we are starting to see the point as Hoxid here starting to close in on Edwin and Scornsy ahead. Meanwhile, Scornsy's going to tuck down to the inside. I think that was clever defending there from the Ferrari, as Edwin's going to have to go around the outside. He will get the preferred line through turn 2, and Scornsy will take it right back as they make their way through 3. That was good defending there from Scornsy, but it's not over for him yet as they exit turn 3, heading into turn 4, wheel to wheel, side by side. Scornsy's got the inside, only just and only for now. Brilliant racing between these two, and Scornsy still hasn't cleared him. Side by side now, I think Edwin might get the better of him here. Oh, they'll want to have this one sorted before they get into turn 7 and 8, and Edwin did back out of that one. I think that was probably going to be the right thing to do there, because you could just tell that one may not have ended well if they were to go side by side. And so they're going to have to take a chill on that one just for now. tell you what, with the varying tire strategies here, and oh, by the way, Hoxsted has found himself within a second of this battle for the podium. So the crossover point might be coming about now, really, to where the hard tires will start to be the better tire than the mediums. Remember, the mediums will be pitting in about 5 or 6 laps time, I would think, as Scornsy once again defends the inside line, but Edwin looks to have had this one even before they got into the corner. Yes, he did. Edwin puts himself on the podium, and Air Racing Design once again getting around Impossible Bacon for only about the 150th time today. Back and forth between those two all race long so far. Brilliant stuff. Looks like Say and Nikki64 battling it out back here. I've seen this position change a couple of times. Meanwhile, ahead, I believe we do have a battle. Let's see, who do we have here? We've got Scornsy now closing in on 0.6 to Edwin. I say closing in, he's actually lost a little bit of time there. Bacon now, well, I tell you what, Bacon might have a look here with DRS down the back straight in towards turn 10. About 200 meters longer, and I think Bacon would have had that move, but not yet. Making his way now through Sector 3, Scornsy starting to kind of fall off the back of Edwin here. We have a yellow flag, and it's got Palmer. Something has happened with him. I believe maybe has he taken a spin out of the final corner. It looks like he's kept the car clean, but that one will drop him outside the podium places. Not very good there. Edwin has made the decision to come in. I think Palmer's quite lucky there. He hasn't hit anything, and he's only dropped the 2 spots. Scornsy and Hoxsted are the 2 that managed to get by in that time. Oh, by the way, No Jug here might be having a move here shortly. A yellow flag in Sector 2 somewhere, it says. I'm not quite sure. No Jug within 0.3 here of Scavney. Scavney on the hards, No Jug on the mediums. No Jug has put him back in the contention of a top 10 here. Good to see after the spin he had early on. Looks like will he have anything out of turn 9? I think he's playing it cautiously at the moment. DRS open for No Jug. Tell you what, he might have a run here. No, he doesn't. Scavney has done well to keep the pace alive and hold off the overtaking attempt from No Jug. Through the chicane they go, and we have our first 2 stoppers for the from the mediums to the hards. Scornsy and Got Palmer on their way in. It will be, as we predicted, hard tires going on here. No wing change for Got Palmer, so that's good for him, considering the incident he did have. No Jug on his way in next. No wing change here coming for No Jug. His tires would have been slightly more eaten, considering the spin he had. Not really in that same kind of conversation, as it looks like Edwin and Scornsy here battling it out momentarily. Edwin is taking the spot for now, although Scornsy trying to warm up his tires in pursuit. Doesn't look like he's done fighting with Edwin here yet to get himself back into the top 10, albeit he has just stopped. Edwin did stop the lap prior, so he has performed the undercut. It looks quite nicely back to Scornsy for the time being. Question is now, when does race day stop? It is now. In comes our leader of race day, as Nikki64 picks up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. This will mean inheriting the lead of the race will be the Alpine of GSR Hoxsted. As we have a yellow flag. Is it Bacon? No, it's Edwin. Edwin's had a moment there going through turn 10. Drops down to P14, and that's not what you wanted to see, because he really had Scornsy's number there. So race day exits the pits P8. He'll have the freshest tires out of anybody in the 7 above him. Air Racing Design and Bacon, the only 2 remaining on the mediums aside from Gunnar Addy back there in P17. Everybody else has gone for the hards. Those on the hard tires will need to stop, I would say, sooner rather than later. About halfway through the Grand Prix now. I believe this next time by will mark halfway through. You'd think the hards would last at least 20 laps, give or take, so get it to lap 20. 13 laps then on the mediums. That seems like the strategy I would play. And maybe that's what's going to happen here. Impossible Bacon, mind you, still battling with Aero Racing Design here. This is going to be a crucial battle for these two. They've been battling all day long. We'll have to wait and see who gets the better of what here. Meanwhile, it looks like Matt Rossi might be having a move at VTEC here in towards turn 10. Matt Rossi's going to try the outside. VTEC defends, still defending. And Matt Rossi having to try to create his own lines here to perhaps try and find an advantage to get around VTEC. Oh, by the way, Edwin's in this battle as well as they make their way through the chicane. As it looks now, Impossible Bacon. Did he get around Aero Racing Design through the corner? No, he didn't. They got very close. They were even for a short amount of time. Bacon still has not found the overtake. Aero Racing Design had a little bit of a slip there going through turn 3. He's pushed up the track quite significantly, I'd say. Bacon wearing down Aero Racing Design here once they have to make the stop, which, oh, by the way, is going to be in a couple of laps' time here. It's going to be interesting. They're definitely going to want to fight on track now. I wouldn't be surprised if they fight even continuously once they're out of the pits as well, as it looks like now Edwin has managed to get around the inside of VTEC through turn 4, and now puts himself within striking distance of Matt Rossi ahead, as, oh, I believe Lancey's had an off. Well, he has somewhere. He's lost a couple of spots, finds himself back to 7th now. I believe it was going through turn 9. Something has not gone correctly there. Scornsy and Gott Palmer now. Oh, Scornsy's gone wide. Gott Palmer has the inside. He's going to look for the outside now through 12. Meanwhile, they're kind of being held up here from Shariah Coleslaw. No offense to Shariah, but that is the reality of the situation. Shariah on 16-lap-old hards as Aero Racing Design stays ahead of Bacon as they make their way into the pits. So Aero will be happy about that one, but now here is Gott Palmer. Will he have anything as it looks like Dusty and Scavney battling it out ahead as they make their way through turn 3 now, as it looks as well Race Day and Lancey side by side. Remember, Race Day will eventually take control of the lead once more. Contact there from Lancey, the Dutchman, to his outside. Now through 4, Race Day still hanging it, and Lancey's gone off track. Yeah, and I tell you what, Race Day's not done anything wrong there. Lancey's lost the car on his own. 17-lap-old hards, you'd think they'd be start to come out come in the pits any amount of time here. Good battling, it has to be said. Very close indeed. At the moment, Dusty Lusky still behind that of Scavney, as I believe he was the second pair of drivers battling above. Remember, Hoxton has the lead at the moment, as I believe... No, he has stayed out another lap. So has Cali Robb, although Cali Robb hasn't made his way to the pits yet. Let's see what Cali Robb does. He will stay out as well, so I would assume maybe the runners on the hard tires still have a couple more laps. No, Scavney seems to have gone early. Ooh, this is an interesting way to see here. Scavney going to the medium tires, what seems to be an undercut on his colleagues here that have chosen the hard compound, as it looks like we've got Say's had another off going out at turn 9. So Scavney gets relegated to P14. Shariah Coleslaw making his way out of the final corner now. Does he get around Houdini, who's on his way in? Yeah, I figured he would. We look up the pack. Edwin within 3/10 of Matt Rossi here. And oh, by the way, Matt Rossi's teammate of Scornsy under pressure from Gott Palmer as well. Still not able to make that move yet. We'll have to wait and see. Hoxid making his way through turn 13 now, right before the chicane. Oh, by the way, Gott Palmer nearly. Oh, I tell you what, I think if he had gotten just a smidge better of an exit out of 9, he would have had that move versus Scornsy there. Scornsy had really lost the pace. Oh, Dusty's gone off. And Dusty on the inside of the circuit on the rallycross track. On the inside at turn 13. And that puts him down to 7th, and Hoxton on his way in now. Was the call from medium to hards the better decision? Oh, by the way, he may be within striking distance of Race Day here. So he's within 5 or 6 seconds. Race Day on decently fresh hards. Hoxton on brand new mediums. This is an interesting one to see here. Oh, but Say has crashed on the outside of turn 9, and the safety car on its way out. I tell you what, that may have been not the best timing there. Cali Rob's going to get a free stop. Oh, Nikki 64 drive-through for speeding under the safety car. That's a little odd. Race Day is going to inherit the lead of the Grand Prix here. Hoxton will get 2nd place. Hoxton will be the only driver in the top 10 on the medium tires, barring when VTEC and Cali Rob decide to come in here. So he'll be one of 2 or 3 on the mediums here. But definitely assume Cali Rob makes the decision to come in now. I'm more interested in what Race Day does. Does he have another set of mediums that perhaps he can throw on here? And the answer is no, so Race Day is going to stick it out on the hards. That was a slightly odd sentence, I'll ignore that. So that will put Hoxton within striking distance of the leader of Race Day on the quicker set of tires, the fresher set of the quicker set of tires as well. Very interesting turn of events here. It looks like Cali Rob has actually played this one to a T. He's going to come out P6 here. No Jug has made his way back into the top 10. He resides in 7th. VTEC and Air Racing Design on their way in as well. So it looks like only 7 drivers remaining on the hards. Well, Nikki 64 as well. He'll have to serve as drive-through and then make his stop. So he'll be a little bit behind. Race Day might be a serious sitting duck here from that of Hoxton. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to let the safety car sort itself out here. I'll step aside for now. Safety car has decided to make its final lap around and will be in this time by. And speaking of this time by, we will have 10 laps to go for the Spanish Grand Prix. My question is, with Race Day, 7-lap-old hards, albeit a couple of them now, about half of them were under safety car. How much pressure will he be in from behind of Hoxton, who on the fresh medium tires who definitely have pace until about 11 laps old. So for now, I would say the advantage goes to Hoxton, but he's going up against the championship leader at the moment, and the championship leader has now decided to hit the gas, and we are back on our way here in Spain, as it looks like Gott Palmer is going to seriously have a move here at Scornsey, down the hill in towards turn 1. Oh, by the way, No Jug, does he have the inside versus Cali Rob? It looks like he will. Yes, he does. Very close indeed. It's actually Edwin and Cali Rob battling ahead, and No Jug wants part of this as well. He's going to try it around the outside through turn 3, and I don't think he's got the grip to make it happen unless he tries one around the outside through 4. Yes, he will. Does he have it? Still looking, and it's not there quite yet. No Jug doing well, but still is unable to find an advantage to get around Cali Rob, and Edwin will nearly provided him with that advantage because Edwin and Cali Rob had that battle in towards turn 1 off the start, and I'm afraid for the time being, No Jug doesn't have that move made. I believe Nikki 64 getting around Houdini now. Remember, no DRS yet. Scornsey has fallen off 1.2 seconds behind the other podium 2 of Hoxton and Race Day. No Jug still within 0.3 of a second of Cali Rob here as the grid makes their way through Sector 3. We'll have 9 laps to go this time by. Down the pit straight they go. Ooh, bit of a swerve job going there from Scornsey as he had to really work and break that toe from Gott Palmer. As here's Cali Rob as he looks down to the inside of Edwin ahead. No Jug in pursuit. He's watching. Maybe some contact there as Edwin seemed to have maybe let the car slip a little bit through turn 2. I think we had wheel-to-wheel contact. Not quite sure. They got very close indeed, and No Jug still hasn't been able to make his move, as Cali Robb hadn't been able to make the move either. As we look back a little bit now, we've got Lancey trying to make the move on Scavney here, the Dutchman within 0.5 of a second. Starting to close a little bit. He is on a lap fresher tire than that of Scavney. You have Air Racing Design within a couple of tenths of Dusty Lusky here. But for the time being, the battle remains. No Jug, as he's now going to look down to the inside for Cali Robb. How does he handle it through turn 12? He's going to tuck back in line, as we're going to have DRS out of turn 9 next time by. Who gets the better exit out of the chicane here? We'll have to wait and see. It looks like the answer is, I think it's going to be Cali Robb here, but No Jug's still in a position where I think he might be able to make something happen. Not using his battery. He's not got much left to use, in fairness. Behind Impossible Bacon doesn't look like he's in position to pressure the Alfa Romeo ahead. He does certainly have more battery, but currently not in the position to make the move is that of Impossible Bacon. Meanwhile, the battle ahead for the top spot still hanging around 6-7 of a second. Hoxton has done well, and with DRS, he may be able to have himself something to hold on to here. Oh, and Hoxton! Well, I couldn't have spoke at a worse time, could I? Because he's gone wide out of turn 9. And he's picked up 3 seconds of penalty, although albeit he's within 0.2 of a second of keeping that second spot. Because at the moment, Scornsey resides 2.8 seconds behind. We'll have to see what happens with that, but feel bad for Hoxton there, because I think he seriously was on pace to make something happen, or at least put Race Day under some pressure, which is something Race Day hasn't really had to worry about all race long so far. Down the pit straight they go. DRS activated here. Big DRS trains coming about now. The move now. Does Scott Palmer have anything for Scornsey ahead? I think he wanted to have a look into the first corner. Didn't have enough real estate to make it happen. But he's at least let Scornsey know that he's there. And that's a very important thing to have, because once you put that pressure onto the car ahead, he definitely takes notice. It's an old saying in oval racing, more or less dirt racing, that when you get to crunch time like this, you stop worrying about who's behind you, you stop looking in that rear view mirror. And I think that may be what Scornsey has to do here, because really, Palmer has been putting pressure on him. Cali Robb within 0.3 of GSR Edwin here, looking for a top 5 for the Aston Martin team. NLR No Jug, mind you. That's a terrible camera angle it's given us. He might be pressuring Cali Robb here as well. We'll have 6 laps to go this next time by. No Jug looks for the inside. Nothing to be had there. But with DRS, will he be able to cling on to something? Impossible Bacon behind. Although it has to be said, he's kind of falling back a little bit. Bacon's had not the best go out of the chicane there, who will be under pressure from Scavney. Scavney's going to try for one, as I believe, oh, look at this, Hoxton. I tell you what, nearly had a look at the leader of Race Day there. Palmer was down to the inside. Scornsey was able to keep the spot. A lot happening here. Uh-oh, I tell you what. Oh, I thought those were the two Williams going side by side there. It's actually VTEC getting around Shariah Coleslaw down to the inside. That looked a good one. Air Racing Design and Dusty Lusky here, side by side as they make their way through turn 4. Very close indeed. At this moment in time, Hoxton will hold on. Uh-oh, and that's Matt Rosie who's taking a spin there. Finds himself isolated on track exiting turn 4. I was about to say, at this moment in time, it looks as if Hoxton will maintain that second spot with Scornsey over 4.5 seconds behind. It will be, at this moment, the McLaren topping the podium, with the Alpine in second, and the Ferrari of Scornsey in third. Good battles here still yet to come. No Jug. As they come through turn 16, who gets the better exit? Very even indeed, but I think maybe perhaps does Cali Robb have something to look at here with Edwin ahead? Hoxton has managed to get around Race Day. Ah, that's interesting there. Wouldn't think that Hoxton was going to play aggressive and try to get that move, but he has. And Scavney, something's happened with him. He's lost a couple of spots, but it looks like he was able to hold on to whatever it was that happened in the end. He's dropped down to 10th, but it could have been worse. Much worse. So at this moment in time, Cali Robb up 9 positions. He's going to be driver of the day at this pace. No Jug down 5, but you have to say, with the disadvantage that he placed himself at after his spin, to climb back up to P7, that is definitely a good one to hold on to there. I would be quite happy if I was No Jug. You know, I think he certainly could have had a move for the win today. But in order to climb back and get yourself within the top 10 after that, pretty okay if you ask me in his case. As we look now, it looks like Shariah down to the inside of Aero Racing Design through turn 10. As Cali Robb, I think he's gotten around Edwin through 13. That one being for the 5th spot, and Edwin has fallen off and he's spun. Through the chicane goes Edwin, and I'm not sure what's happened there. Was he overtaken before or after that spin had happened? Has got Palmer down to the inside of Scornsey. Does he have it? Scornsey somehow still holds on. Goodness me, so much happening on the Division 1 grid here today. Got Palmer might have a look down to the inside. The answer is going to be no. Remember, this is the battle for the podium here. Would be quite nice to get 2 McLarens on the podium, at least that they would think so. I tell you what, Scornsey's been absolutely defending today. He's been defending very, very well. But it seems as if this overtake might be coming here shortly, as Got Palmer within a 10th. Out of turn 9, Got Palmer, I think, has had to have let off there, because he's lost some ground back to Scornsey as they make their way in towards turn 10. Race Day back within 3/10 of Hoxton here. Again, Race Day's not going to have to work too hard for this move here. He's just going to have to make sure he doesn't make a mistake, because at this moment in time, he will still have the win. Exiting the final corner. To the stripe they go. Race Day now. Will he look for the outside? Yes, he will. Remember, he's on the hard tire side by side through the first corner. He's got the preferred line through the second corner. And Race Day 2016 reclaims the top spot, albeit he was going to have it anyways, but still, he's made the move. No Jug looking for it past Cali Robb here. 0.2 of a second. He's not going to have it through turn 4. But I tell you what, the pressure being mounted on the Aston Martin here. No Jug, very formidable opponent. Down to the inside through turn 5. Does he have it? No, he doesn't. Cali Robb's gotten better acceleration on exits. That one very close indeed. One, I think he's maybe had a slip there going through turn 7 and 8. That one I don't think has been helpful to that of No Jug, because he slipped just a little bit. And oh, by the way, Got Palmer still within striking distance of Scornsey here. This is going to come down to the wire here for the final podium spot. As Race Day and Hoxton making their way past the start-finish line for the penultimate time today, I think. No, because they'll have to cross it again on the final lap, won't they? Well, anyways, as it looks here, Got Palmer has fallen. I tell you what, he must not have gotten a good exit out of the chicane, because he has fallen back outside of 0.6 of a second back to Scornsey, and that's not one that he needed. 2 laps to go here, more like a lap and a half now or thereabouts. 0.2 of a second still, No Jug. He's used his battery, but he is still applying the pressure to Cali Robb ahead. Cali Robb undoubtedly driver of the day, up 10. Will they have the move through turn 5 now? No, I don't think he will, but he's given it another go. Through 7 and 8, this is where No Jug lost the ground last time. Up through turn 9 they go. No Jug, I think you could argue, well, it's actually been even Stevens between the two of them. No advantage or disadvantage to be had. Got Palmer's gone wide. He's fallen back. He's fallen off the back of Scornsy here by another tenth or two. That may have opened the door for Cali Robb, as Race Day and Hoxton now making their way around the final corner and past the start-finish line for the penultimate time. Final lap here. 0.3 of a second. No Jug's going to need to get past Cali Robb this time. Cali Robb's going to need to have a look at Got Palmer, and he's not in position to do so. And so I think this is the early indication of what the final grid will look like. Oh, Cali Robb has not had a good go through turn 2. No Jug's all over the gearbox of him. Very even on battery. Oh, I think, oh no, and Scavney's had an off. Oh, and a day that was looking all right there for Scavney. It's all come tumbling down. He's lost the entirety of his front wing. Heartbreaking stuff there, because I tell you what, he was on pace for a decent result, he was. Oh, but I believe it's Aero Racing Design, and he was on pace for a good result as well. And he finds the barrier too. As it looks ahead, Shiraya and VTech battling it out there, wheel-to-wheel contact between these two. Oh, they've both gone off through the sand! And VTech spins around. Shiraya keeps the spot. No Jug wasn't able to make anything happen on Cali Robb. Cali Robb wasn't able to make anything happen. And I tell you what, nobody has been able to make anything happen to get past Race Day here. He will win the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's almost looking certain now that this championship is his. Hoxton finishes second. Scornsy rounds out the podium. A brilliant day. And Race Day looking more and more likely that this is his championship now. It's all but the mathematics now as we head next week in towards Singapore. Mathematics will come into play then. But for now, he can celebrate another one. Race Day 2016 takes it here in Spain. And that's his 7th win of the year as well. This is interesting. No Jug has lost the car and DNF'd at the death. He will get points for 90%, but still, not ideal. So after it's all said and done here in Division 1, it is Race Day 2016 taking the win, his 7th of the season. Oh, by the way, Hoxton gave it a good effort. He finishes second, Scornsy in third, Got Palmer fourth, Cali Robb fifth, Lancey sixth, Edwin seventh, 8th, Impossible Bacon 9th, Dusty Lusky 10th, Shiraya 11th, Aero Racing Design 12th is Houdini, 13th VTech, 14th Scavney, 15th Gunner, 16th Matt Rosie plus the fastest lap, 17th Nicky 64. No Jug DNF'd at the end. He will get points for being 90%. And Say, rounding out the field, unfortunately did not finish the Grand Prix. Next week, it's the penultimate round of the season as we head to Singapore at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Hotspot's been a pleasure being back in Division 1 this week. We'll see you next time.